You're listening to the Fast F1 podcast. Hello again, everyone, and welcome back to the Fast F1 podcast with me, Danny Kane.
And I'm Eddie Medeo Kane.
And today we're talking about the Snooze Fest Grand Prix, the Monaco Grand Prix for 2025.
You can't help it, can you? You just can't help it.
It was so boring.
It was better than last year.
It wasn't boring,
well,
but it wasn't exciting.
I actually found out, though, earlier today. You said you thought there were 3 overtakes?
Yeah.
Guess what? There was 1 overtake, and it was on the last lap.
There were 3.
There was 1.
There was only 1 official overtake.
There was only
but
one
there were
official
3 overtakes.
And it was on the last lap.
Yeah. So the only official one was Stroll on Hulkenberg.
If Stroll didn't do that, that would be...
But the other one that happened was
Bortoleto.
Bortoleto on Antonelli, and then immediately afterwards, Antonelli on Bortoleto.
Yeah.
Yeah. But it was a pretty dull race.
Yes.
In the end. It had some intrigue, some interesting points about it, but we'll get into all that in just a moment. But in the meantime, take us through some of the news that's happened in the last week.
Well, we obviously know that there are, and by the way, literally in less than 23 hours, probably less than 12 hours at this point, is the first free practice of Spain.
Yep.
So
we're recording on Thursday night.
Once again.
About 12 hours before first practice for the Spanish Grand Prix.
Yeah. But obviously we knew that the 2-stop would come into play as a requirement. It did not work.
Yeah, the 2-stop strategy just didn't do anything.
I don't want that to ever happen again because Antonelli's
I think the 2-stop idea could work,
if
but
it was
just
lap
not
1.
Well, no, it's just not at Monaco.
I was so desperate for there to be like a safety car on lap 1 when Bortoleto crashed because that would have caused chaos.
Potentially, yeah.
Potentially, yeah. A couple of drivers did go into the pits on lap 1.
Yeah, some drivers did.
Didn't help them any.
Not much in the way of news in that week, huh?
Mm-mm.
Not really. So I guess we will get straight into it then. So in qualifying, we had one driver crash out of qualifying at the end of Q1. Was that Antonelli?
That was Antonelli.
Yeah, okay. So Antonelli crashed out. He made it into Q2.
He did.
But crashed at the end of Q3, so he didn't turn a lap in Q2.
15th.
So he started 15th, and then his teammate
in Q2
had an engine failure. So Russell engine failure, so the Mercs were 14th and 15th in the grid.
Yikes.
Yeah,
and
pretty bad.
And Russell's a potential championship contender, and this weekend did not help him at all.
Not at all. And
I'm surprised how little people were actually talking about him other than the fact that he went and cut the track, but we'll get into that in a bit.
Yeah, so, Mercedes' race was ruined when their qualifying was ruined.
Literally, Antonelli lasted over 70 laps. 70 laps on the same tires. But a race around Belgium is only 42 laps.
Well, much longer track.
It's a much longer track, but when you put that into context, that's crazy.
Well, last year, all of the drivers did 77 laps on the same set of tires, or 76 or whatever it was, because they had a red flag on the first lap.
And they still pit.
Yeah, they pit for the red flag, and then they went the rest of the race on the same set of tires. Yeah, they did.
I swear they didn't. There's no way.
Yeah.
Wow, I'm going to have to look at that.
That was why it's referred to as the no-stop race, because nobody stopped after that red flag. Yeah. So, that was what drove him to... That was what drove him to try this, forced 2-stop strategy, which didn't work out, didn't make the race interesting, which played into my predictions. But anyways.
Did indeed. Son of a gun.
The only real interesting, there were some points of tension, me being a McLaren fan and leaning toward Lando in that fight. I obviously wanted him to win, and so when he was tucked up behind Verstappen for 30 laps or whatever it was, the whole time I kept saying to him, he's got it under control. All he's got to do is just not try to battle Verstappen, and he's got the race won. And that ended up being the case, but that whole time there is still that doubt in the back of your mind of maybe something will happen.
Is there going to be a red flag and he could
or will there be a red
What's
flag?
happen?
Or yeah. Provided that everything stayed green, though, he had it locked up.
Yeah.
But you never quite get that out of the back of your mind that, well, maybe Charles will try something crazy. And I mean, it didn't end up happening. And
I wouldn't have tried to fight him even if it was a red flag, though,
Yeah.
because it's Verstappen.
So the top 4 starting positions didn't change
Nope.
for the finish.
Well, that's just great.
Hamilton started in 7th, got past Hajar
By the
because
way,
of the pit
Hajar,
strategy.
what a qualifying.
Yeah, Hajar and Lawson both did really well this weekend.
Yeah, they
The
did.
RBs, or the Racing Bulls just generally were really on top
Alonso
of it
was quite decent as well until he still fails to score points.
until his engine blew up, which was
engine
his
blew
own
up.
fault.
It was not.
No, it wasn't his.
I was going to say it was indeed, but no.
no,
What?
that wasn't. I mean,
No, of course
nothing
not.
he could have done about it. Just the
3
engine gave up.
No. 4 DNFs this season within 10 actual races.
And that was really
including the
unfortunate because
sprints.
he was looking good for.
Really good for points.
He was looking like he was going to get a 6th place, I think, out of that.
At least.
But no
But,
such luck
yeah.
for Alonso.
Yeah. He's DNF'd in Australia. He's DNF'd in I think Miami's sprint.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know for sure. He might have also DNF'd in Miami.
I'm not sure where all he's had DNFs, but it has not gone his way
he
this
DNF'd
year.
in China, and now he's DNF'd here as well.
He's been behind Stroll. Stroll scored points in the
whole
opening race,
Flipping
Yeah.
championship. He's 18th.
and I think
He's 18th.
I think it's now 20 races in a row that Alonso has out-qualified Stroll, and yet Stroll has.
Stroll is still this far ahead.
Yeah.
He's literally 18th.
Stroll is
in this
now out
championship.
of the top 10 in the championship, though.
But
after
Alonso is
Monaco.
18th. This is
Well, okay.
if he
18th.
doesn't score points at his home race, I don't know what to say.
Yeah, I mean, 18th,
Imagine firing imagine firing a 2-time world
he's
champion.
clearly outperformed 18th, but yeah, his car hasn't always been there,
That's
or
crazy.
either that, or his strategy team has let him down, or both.
Probably
So,
both. Newey's there now as of this past weekend.
Well, he was in attendance at the race for the
Yes.
first time in Aston Martin colors, but obviously he's been working behind the scenes on the 2026 car.
I was gonna say, I think I said maybe 3 or 4 weeks ago, why haven't we seen Newey yet? And I still didn't see him in Monaco.
Yeah, they had. He was on the cameras a few times,
I didn't even see him once. I'm still yet to see him in.
Well, he's
those
not a
colors.
large part of focus for this year. He was
Not for
there
this year, but he's still quite the icon.
Yeah, I think he was there observing their operational effectiveness during the weekend. But his whole point of being at Aston Martin, at least as far as this year is concerned, is to work on the 2026 car.
Yeah.
He's not there to make the 2025 season any good.
At the moment, I feel like they're putting all of their resources into next year's car.
Oh yeah,
But
but
the
I mean,
thing
they've pretty
is-
much admitted that though.
Well, yeah, but I also feel like because they're finishing 8th in the standings at the moment, I feel like because of how much money they're going to even earn for next year, it will still be low, to the point where at most
Money
they
is
could
not
probably...
a concern for Aston Martin.
Well, you never know, though.
Nah.
Lawrence Stroll may have all this money, but he can't use it all from himself.
Right, but he can pour more money into the team. So in other words, the team's only limited to being able to spend like $160 million anyway. And $160 million to him, even if he had to pay all of that out of pocket, which he doesn't, but even if he did, he could. He has the money.
He probably wouldn't pay all of it.
That'd be a lot
He
of-
may be a billionaire, but he still wouldn't spend that much.
He wouldn't spend that much. That's true. But nevertheless, if he has to dump $20 million of his own money
Probably
in,
would.
or
He probably
$40
would.
million even,
40,
he probably
40
would.
million's a bit of a stretch, but yeah,
We
he
don't know.
might.
We don't
He
know what
might.
his finances are
We
like.
don't. And that's the thing about the Stroloviches. Lawrence Stroll, we don't know how much money he actually pours into the team. Lance Stroll, we don't know how long his contracts are. It's like this family's
contract
so
is as-
secret, you know?
Well, I mean, his contract is as long as he feels like continuing
I
driving.
Then I sure hope he leaves before tomorrow.
You're
That'd
sick
be
of him, huh?
I have been sick of him for years. so many years, and not just me. I swear, almost everybody's sick of him. I am
Well-
such a big fan of Canadians, but like this guy, like these past two Canadians in F1, Latifi and Stroll, they have been a letdown for Canada.
What's your problem with Latifi?
Well, I mean, he may be the GOAT, but like
He's the Go-Tifi.
he's the GOAT. But
Yeah.
he was so inconsistent. And he's not even here anymore, for one thing.
Yeah.
But, like, literally, I remember when Latifi was around, the one time that I was watching F1 where he actually made it out of qualifying one for the first time, we were going nuts.
Yeah, I mean, it's not a knock against Canadians by any means. It's just
No.
that the last couple of them haven't been any good.
No. Because when you look at
And
people
Stroll,
like
the irony is that
Villeneuves-
Stroll was really good in his
He was.
Formula 3 or GP3 time. As an up and coming driver, he did have the talent. He
Yeah.
definitely deserved to get a chance in Formula 1, but that chance has passed now.
Oh, yeah.
And now he's a waste of a seat.
Yeah.
And unfortunately.
Drugovich better be ready to go. Please.
Well, I don't think that Drugovich has a future at Aston Martin.
I'm so mad about Drugovich because, like, literally, I think he's 24 now. 24 is basically where you're like, well, I mean, unless you're Nick DeVries, where you're 29 and you're signed into F1. But, like, I feel Drugovich's time is running out soon, and I really don't want that to be the case because he's such a darn good driver.
Well, even if he makes it to Formula 1, it won't be with Aston Martin. That's what I would say. Because Lance Stroll will be there until Lance Stroll is done. He won't be forced out.
Unless he crashes.
I
on
have
his
a feeling that
bicycle again.
next year, if Aston Martin is not super competitive next year will be Alonso's last year. He'll call it
Alonso's
quits at that
I
point.
think this might be Alonso's last year.
Nah, he'll stick
Holy-
around to see what next year's regulations are like.
Holy moly! So we saw how mad Alonso was on the radio once again. This was probably the maddest I've ever seen him, and I've watched a lot of Alonso's radio in the past. What about you? Is this the maddest you've ever heard of?
It's certainly the most vocal he's been. But
But I actually went through the radio rewind for this race. That's not the only time he was that mad. He was like his kettle went over.
yeah,
He was so mad at the team the whole race, and because of this, we saw this in Imola, a little bit mad, almost this mad, but not quite as mad. We saw it in Miami as well. He's getting so mad at the team. It's really unfortunate for him to still be there while the car is not performing at its should.
I mean
as it should be.
that's true. But like I said, I think he's just waiting out the next set of regulations, and he'll stick around through next year to see how that plays out. But
I don't think
if the car next year is not competitive, he'll leave. But the thing is, Drugovich will not be his replacement. It'll be Verstappen.
Actually, no. I think before Verstappen, it'd actually probably be his teammate.
Do you think that Stroll will leave before Alonso?
No. I think Verstappen would not get the chance before Tsunoda would. So, don't
Do you
forget.
think Tsunoda would go to Aston Martin? You think
I
that
think
Lawrence Stroll would want Yuki Tsunoda before he'd want Max Verstappen?
No.
Okay, so what are you saying then?
Well, you realize how massively tied Tsunoda is to Honda, right?
I
You can't
was,
you
but
can't
not as much
forget
anymore.
that. Well, come on. Tsunoda's still not performing with the Red Bull car. Obviously, he's not going to be fired. He probably is not going to go back to RB either.
Yeah, but
And I
but
doubt he's going to go to Cadillac.
if Alonso pulls the plug at the end of next year, and especially if the Red Bull is not competitive next year,
Well, who would even replace Verstappen? Think about
who
that.
who would replace Verstappen?
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. What I'm saying is that
Doesn't matter.
Well, obviously it matters, but what I'm saying is that Drugovich will not be Alonso's replacement. It will be Verstappen because if the Red Bull is not competitive next year, if the Ford engine is not competitive next year, and if the Honda is still competitive next year, and if the car is, if the car is reasonable or whatever, but Alonso leaves, or even if Alonso doesn't leave, I think that Lawrence Stroll will be pursuing getting Verstappen in the car for 2027.
Well, also don't forget there are still potentially 2 seats. Stroll could also leave at any chance. Besides, Aston Martin is
Not
starting.
unless he wants to. He's
Well-
not going to be forced out.
Well, Aston Martin, actually, the group Aston Martin is starting to slowly gain more control of the team. And soon, if they do have more than 50% of the company, eventually they're going to be like, no, we don't want him here anymore.
Yeah, well...
And they're going to have to fire him.
Well, we will see.
We will see.
But I don't think that Stroll is going anywhere
I don't
anytime
know
soon.
who the heck would replace Verstappen, though.
At Red Bull?
Yeah.
Hadjar. Actually, I think Hadjar will replace Tsunoda next year, but that's a different story.
It's crazy.
So we're getting into speculating on a whole bunch of things not Spanish Grand Prix related or Monaco related, for that matter. So why don't we do?
To talk about for the Monaco
I know.
Grand Prix.
But why don't we do this then? Let's talk about our speculations for that race. We'll talk about what we predicted for the Monaco Grand Prix. So going into this race, it was 11-3 to me, and
no, 9-3.
It was 11-3 to me. I've got the sheet up in front of me right here on the computer. It was 11-3.
I'm here to confirm it was 11-3.
So, anyways, we'll go through our predictions for the Monaco Grand Prix. For pole position, it was I said Antonelli, and you said Verstappen. And it was Lando Norris.
Verstappen was down on his time at the end, so that's annoying.
Verstappen actually qualified
Antonelli crashed,
fifth.
though. No, I should not have said that. Not against my GOAT.
Verstappen actually qualified fifth. He started fourth, and Antonelli qualified 15th and started 15th.
Yeah, he didn't crash into 15th. He just qualified there.
Fastest lap, you said Oscar Piastri. I said Carlos Sainz, and it was Lando Norris.
It was.
Third place, you said Charles Leclerc. And I said Antonelli. It was Oscar Piastri.
And then second place?
Second place, you said Antonelli. And I said Charles Leclerc.
No! Are you kidding me?
Yeah, I said Charles Leclerc, and it was Charles Leclerc.
How are you still getting more points than me? You have 10 now. I have 3. Or no, you have 12 now.
That's
I have
12.
3.
Yeah.
I keep getting this wrong. Sorry.
And for the win, you said Verstappen, which, to be honest, even though I predicted Russell,
if it was a red flag,
I did think it was going to be Verstappen.
If I had a red flag,
yeah, well,
that's all I needed.
Until the very end of lap 77, you were looking good for it.
It would have put Verstappen into the lead of the championship, I think.
Had he won from there, no, he would not have been in the lead of the championship.
Well, Piastri would have been fourth at that rate.
Yeah, but he would have outscored Piastri by 13 points, and Piastri was 22 ahead of him.
Oh, never mind.
So definitely would have closed it up between the two of them, but
it's 25 points separating the top three in the drivers' championship, and only three
between Piastri and Norris now.
And in the constructors, I think it's only 7.
Yep. So then our wild prediction for the Monaco Grand Prix. You said that no McLaren would be on the podium. They were both on the podium.
They were.
And I said that the forced two-stop would not make the race any good. And I have to say that the forced two-stop didn't make the race any good.
No. For the first time, we had a crazy prediction come in, although that wasn't that crazy.
Yeah, our wild prediction.
Finally, we had one
of
them.
We kind of throw caution at the win for those.
Yeah.
And finally got one to come in correctly. Yeah. So moving on then to our predictions for the Spanish Grand Prix, which starts very soon. For pole position, you said...
I said Max Verstappen.
And I am saying Charles Leclerc.
Yeah,
I think that Ferrari...
Are they actually going to be good?
I have a feeling that this track will suit the Ferraris more than the likes of Monaco. Well, they were good in Monaco.
They were. They brought their old rear wing along with a couple other teams, I think, but theirs worked.
Yep.
Along with the fact that the flexi wings are no longer in F1 finally, so we don't know where McLaren are.
Yeah, but I have a feeling that those are going to make the most minute of differences, because if it was a big deal and it was a major thing that needed to be changed because one team had a major advantage, they would have done it for the beginning of the season, but it waited 8 races in instead.
Well, they planned it from the beginning of the season. And
that's my point. Yeah. They planned it from the beginning of the season that it would be 8 races in.
Which is weird.
Yeah.
Anyway.
So for fastest lap, I'm saying that it's going to be Lando Norris, and you're saying?
I'm saying Max Verstappen.
Verstappen again. So then moving into the top 3, the podium, you have on third place...
I have got Oscar Piastri.
Oscar Piastri for third, and I'm saying Charles Leclerc.
I'll
I
take that.
don't think that he's going to finish in first, even though I'm predicting him for the pole.
That's fine. For
I don't think
podium.
that. I think that McLarens have shown that they still have better race pace
Oh, yeah.
than most of the other cars. So then for second place, I'm going to say Piastri in the McLaren. And you said
I said Lando Norris.
the other McLaren. And then for first place, you said...
Max Verstappen.
So you're going for the pole, fastest lap, and win for Verstappen.
I'm
huh?
actually going with the Grand Slam. He's also
You're going to say that he's going to get the
lead
every lap, huh?
Yep. I think so.
And I'm going to say that Lando Norris will win the race. That
And take over the driver's
he
championship.
would take over the drivers' championship. I think that momentum is back in his side again. But I think it'll be close. I think that there won't be much to separate the McLarens.
Well, I'm going to say right now, I am going to bet that your top two, even if they're flip-flopped, they won't be like that. There will not be a McLaren 1-2. I'm going to guarantee that.
Okay.
I will guarantee. And that's going to actually be my bonus prediction.
So what's your wild prediction for the race?
My wild prediction is that there will be less than 10 overtakes during the whole race.
Less than 10 on-track overtakes.
On-track overtakes.
Yeah. So if a car,
This may be...
if they change positions due to pit stops, that doesn't count.
No, of course not.
Yeah. Okay. And I'm going to say that neither of the Spanish drivers, Sainz or Alonso, are going to score points.
I am not going to allow you to use that.
Why?
I don't think that's crazy enough, especially when you just put, I don't think that the two-stop will be all that good in Monaco. Yeah, I gave you the point for that, but I feel like both Spanish drivers not in the points. I feel like considering the fact that Alonso still has not even scored any points and Sainz has only got, what, at most 10, I'm not going to give you that.
Yeah, but Sainz has scored points in the last several races, and Alonso has been in a position to score points in the last several races
Did he score
until
points
his
last
engine
race?
blew up.
Did he score points last
Until
race?
his engine blew up. Both of them have been performing in the top 10 the last several races.
Yeah, but will they finish there? I'm going to say,
Well,
I'm not going to give you that one.
If Alonso's car doesn't let him down, he'll
Yeah.
he'll finish in the points.
I'm not going to give you that one. I think you should think of a different one.
Okay. Neither Spanish driver will finish in the top.
12 is my max.
gonna say-
12 is my max.
No, I'm not going to say that.
You're not going to say top 12?
No.
Should we meet in the middle, 11?
No, you're not going to let me say that. I think that that's unfair, but whatever. I'll say I'm going to say no Williams in the points.
No Williams in the points. I'll let you have that one.
I know because Albon has been
Pretty good.
very consistent
Very
driver this
good.
year.
I am so surprised by his performance. It's incredible. Imagine Red Bull swoop and sign him again.
So
Bye,
you
Max.
watch now. Neither Williams and Alonso
Imagine.
are all going to be out of the points. Both Williams and Alonso are going to be out of the points, and I'm going to say I was right
Imagine-
on all fronts.
Imagine Alonso wins the race due to a red flag. That'd be insane.
All right, well, let's wrap it up with that.
Let's
Thanks for listening, everybody. Make sure you give us a like on whatever podcast
smash
platform,
the buttons.
whatever podcast platform you're listening to us on. Make sure you click the subscribe button and all of those sorts of things. And until next time, I'm Danny Kane,
And I'm Eddie Medeo Kane.
and this has been the Fast F1 podcast.
Bye.
Fast F1 is produced by Danny Kane and Eddie Medieo Kane. All rights are reserved. Music is performed by Alex Zavessa. Thanks for listening.